who am I going to invite up first?
Okay.
And name.
Okay.
Tim. Tim, come on up and talk to us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us here, and it's a blessing to be here. For those of you who don't know us, we're Adult Teen Challenge. We're a long-term Christian discipleship program. We were established in the 1950s with the goal of bringing life-changing hope to addicts and their families. We are one of the largest and most successful of programs of its kind. This is only possible through the power of Jesus Christ. We have a 26-bed men's center in Winthrop, and we are one of 14 across New England and New Jersey, serving men, women, and adolescent girls. There are over 230 centers across the U.S. and 1,400 worldwide. Today you'll be amazed at how God is miraculously at work in the ministry of Adult and Teen Challenge. Today we're going to share some testimonies, one being mine, and we'll give you some insight on what the program has to offer. After today, you'll think of only one place you can send someone you know who's struggling with life controlling issues. Thank you again for having us, and at this time, I'd like to introduce the men of Adult and Teen Challenge, me. My brothers. So my name's Timothy. I'm 58 years old. I was raised in a small town called Bedford, Massachusetts. I'm the youngest of 5, 2 brothers, 2 sisters. My dad was a lifer in the Air Force, served in 3 major wars. He was strict, but not too strict. My mom, perfect mom, took me and my brothers to sports events whenever we needed. My sisters, they take them wherever they needed to go. My parents drank, but they were not alcoholics. When I was 11 years old, somehow or another, they left my sister and I alone in the house, and I got into my parents' liquor, and it's the first time I got drunk. At the age of 13, they got divorced, my parents, and that's when I hung out with the wrong people. So not only drinking, I started doing drugs. It's funny because 18, I graduated, I stopped doing drugs, quit smoking, but I couldn't quit drinking. 1990, my dad passed away. That's the first time I moved to Hawaii. I was 24 years old, and that's when I became a full-blown alcoholic. Taught myself how to drink in the morning, at work, and at night. In 2004, my mom passed away, and I did my last overseas government contract. I met a woman there who turned out to be my fiancée, and we moved around, eventually ending up in Arkansas. After a while, my drinking got so bad we split, and I became homeless. About 6 months into my homelessness, I was at the end of my rope, and I didn't know what to do. But I was sitting in the park one day, a couple of homeless people, we were drinking. I looked up, I saw this truck. It said, "Free food truck." Walked up to it. Before I even got there, this man walked up to me. And he said, shook my hand and said, "Hi, I'm Pastor Chris." That's when I knew God was going to change my life. He helped me out. He took me under his wing, took me to church, Bible study. His family was always there for me. He got me into a detox, got me in. When I finished that, I finally went to a rehab for the first time. Got me a job when I got out of rehab. I was living a sober living, but God wasn't finished putting me through my test yet, because I kept relapsing. Kept going to the park, meeting more pastors, more God-fearing Christians that became good friends. They always gave me encouragement to keep trying and keep trying. Finally, one day, Pastor Chris took me breakfast, told me about it, Adult Teen Challenge. He had already looked into it and talked to the director in New Hampshire, and they already had plans set. So he took me to a detox one last time in Arkansas. When I was done, he picked me up, put me on a plane to Augusta. And then I got picked up from the staff at Adult Teen Challenge. I've been there just over 4 months, second phase, and that's just, I've been about 4.5 months sober. Before I used to feel worthless, but I was full of pride and arrogance and any other bad characteristic you could think of. But since I've been at Adult Teen Challenge, I've been able to work in the wood shop, and I think we're going to be, you'll be able to see some of the boards that have been able to help me. And that's given me a sense of worth again. But also being here, learning, getting back to my relationship with God through Adult and Teen Challenge, it's just, I've become humble, lost all that pride and arrogance, and I'm finally beginning to feel peace. I mean, before I'd go to sleep, my teeth would be clenching, my head would be racing thoughts, just all tensed up. Now I lay down, I say my prayer, close my eyes, no thoughts in my head except for God, no tension, no nothing, just calm. But yeah, Adult Teen Challenge, just focused on God. Like I said, my relationship is back with Him. This is the closest I've been to God. And when I graduate, hopefully I'll be like the pastor here and the staff, and of course Pastor Chris, who helped me so much. And I just want to be like them, just a humble servant of God.
I have a cheat sheet here, so don't think any less of me. Adult Teen Challenge is a 4-point.
I'm going to show you how we're not thinking less of you.
Thank you.
Thinking greater of you.
Adult Teen Challenge is a 4-point program. We tailor everything to physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional healing and restoration. Under the physical, we have a state-of-the-art weight room. We have warm Tempur-Pedic beds. We have 3 meals a day. And trust me, none of us are missing any meals. We have transportation to all of our visits that we have: court, dentist office, doctor's office, probation, anything like that. It teaches responsibility and life skills. We have one-on-one mentoring sessions with a staff member. And all the staff have been through the program, so they know what we're going through. They can give us sound advice, biblical advice as to what we're going through. After the program is completed, you can, if you'd like to, and if you're approved, you can apply for a 6-month apprenticeship to learn the program, learn to be a staff member, and help the guys further that way. We also have life coaching. It helps people build resumes, balance checkbooks, things like that we may not be so good at. We just started working with a Christian alcohol and drug counselor, and she's awesome. I meet with her a couple of times a month, and all the advice she gives us is straight from the Bible. She's super nice. Any questions we have, she'll answer it, and she's just awesome. We do teach vocational training, as Tim touched upon. There's a wood shop where we make the cutting boards that you'll see outside. Everybody gets a chance to work in the kitchen, so we learn how to cook. Leadership training, public relations, business development, and so on. We do academics, so it's very intensive. It's almost like going to school again, even though that was eons ago. But we do have a custom tailored syllabus for each person who comes in, so whatever problems that we had in life and what problems that we're going through, that will help us to work through that. Every resident that doesn't have a diploma or a GED will take courses. I think it's mandatory, correct? Yeah. If you don't have a diploma or GED, you will have it upon graduation of the program. And we have group studies where we all work as a group on certain Christian topics every Monday. We have spiritual enrichment events. We have a summer camp that we go to in Upper New York State for all week, and all the centers from New England all join there, and we worship every night and fellowship and meet the other guys in the other Team Challenge programs that we wouldn't necessarily meet. We do have church services every Sunday, obviously, like today, and we have chapel every Tuesday with our director, and he gives us a message tailored to what's going on in the house, or an uplifting message that we need to hear. Weekly family visits. We do have family ministry where our families come, we all meet together, and it gives them a chance to tell us how we affected them with our choices and our addiction. There's off-campus visits and home passes. I went on a home pass about a month ago for my first one, and I saw my son, and it's only 24 hours, but it was special. There's marriage retreats and marriage coaching with our director, and throughout all of this, there's 24-hour supervision. There's apprentices and staff on site all the time, and even when we go to the bathroom, we have to have a buddy with us. So there's accountability, so nobody will do anything foolish or rash. All right, I don't need that anymore. My name is Adam. I'm 46 years old. I am from East Millinocket, Maine. Don't run me out of town when I say this, but I grew up in a Pentecostal church. I had a great childhood. Both of my parents, neither one of them drank, smoked, did drugs. My mom was a singer in church. But in my early teens, I started to, dabble in alcohol and, sex and, just things that some teenagers do, not all, I should say, but, and that just slowly progressed. Into my 20s, I was drinking daily. I thought I had it together because I had a job and I paid my bills and had a car, but, that was just, the devil keeping me in those chains. The drugs got harder over the years, and I had an operation in, I think it was 2010 or 2011, and I was prescribed oxycodone, and that, I was hooked on that pretty well immediately, and I was on that for a number of years, and once I couldn't find that, I started doing heroin. I wasn't shooting it, so I told myself, that's not so bad, it's crazy what sin does. Sin wants to keep you in sin, so it justifies itself to you. And in 2021, my mom died from COVID, and then 2 weeks later, my dad died from an accident at work. And so I just went further down. I just went spiraled even further out of control. And in April of 2023, some drugs that I'd lost in my house was found by my son's best friend who was 14. And he did those and it killed him. And the only reason that I didn't go to prison was because Maine has a law that if you call 911 for somebody overdosing, it's a guardian angel law, I think it's called, or Good Samaritan law. But that just about broke me. By the grace of God, I'm not in prison today. But that still, bless you, that still wasn't enough to keep me, to set me straight. But in October of last year, I contacted Team Challenge. I just cried out to God, and He heard me. And I came here a couple of days later, and just in the 4 months, I actually came here the same day that Tim did, later on that same day. And relationships with my kids and my family that I thought were broken, they've already been restored. And I just can't say enough for what He's done for my life and He's doing in my life. They're kind of being groomed as leadership, I guess. Our oldest resident is graduating next month, so the guys that have been there for a little while were coming up, and so I just thank God for what He's done for me, and I don't know where I'd be today without Him, either dead or in prison, I would say, but You know, my mom planted a seed in me a long time ago, and I'm glad she did. Took me 30 years to, to answer the calling, but here I am today. I just wanted to share one other thing. Last Sunday we were at a church and a woman prophesied over me, and I'm going to go to Bible college after this program is over, which 6 months ago I never would have thought. That wasn't even a thought that entered my head, but that's what God is leading me to do, is to go to Bible school, so that's what I'm going to do once I'm done this program. Thank you.
Not as tall as Adam is. Had to give him a quick hug. That's my roommate, guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
As you were arriving, we were handing out these prayer cards. If you didn't get one, or you need a pen to fill one out, could you please raise your hand and one of the guys will get one over to you. Now on the left side of that card is a spot for your basic info. This is so that we can send you a monthly newsletter and a testimony of one of the guys currently in the program. Now on the right side of that card is a spot for your personal prayer request. Each man here is an answered prayer. Here at Adult and Teen Challenge, we believe that prayer is our most powerful weapon. That's why we have intercessory prayer twice a day, where we pray for each other and over these cards. Everybody here deserves a prayer for something, and if you can't think of anything to pray for, you could just pray for one of us. We're going to give you a couple minutes at this time to fill those out, and a couple of the guys will be around to collect them as you finish. Thank you.
My name is Paul Langdon Bach, and I confess Jesus Christ before men and women. I want to read you something. This is Psalm 40, 1 through 3. I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined unto me. He heard my cry. He brought me up also out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my goings. And he hath put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our God. Many shall see it and fear, and shall trust the Lord. That's exactly what God did for me. I cried out to God, and he set my feet upon the rock of Jesus Christ, and that's where I stand today. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
That's great. My name is Nathan. I am 23 years old. I've been with Adult and Teen Challenge for about 3 years now. If we go back to the beginning, I was given up for adoption right at about 6 months old, but my godparents, they took me in. They loved for me, they cared for me, but that feeling of abandonment started a little fire in my heart that I didn't know what it was going to grow to in years to come. At the age of 8, custody was given back to my biological parents due to a clerical error in the paperwork, so I was taken out of this house of love. I was brought into this house of hatred, this house of abuse, this house where at a young age I just had to walk on eggshells constantly, and it was like fueling that fire within me, just kind of reminding myself that I wasn't going to be good enough, that no one wanted me around. My biological parents went through a divorce not long after that, where I ended up with my biological mother and my younger brother. She was never around, single mom life. She was dating, working. She actually lived in an apartment an hour away from where my younger brother and I lived at home. As every 14-year-old does, I made a very rational decision. Thought it was going to be life-changing. I took matters into my own hands, and I decided drug sales was going to be the way that I was going to provide for my younger brother and I. Did not last long. By the age of 16, I was getting arrested for the first time on felony charges, and I pretty much threw my whole life away that day. I was getting accepted into colleges. All of those were getting turned away. I was an Eagle Scout and Boy Scouts. They took that from me and kicked me out. Both my adopted family and my biological family wanted nothing to do with me anymore. And at that point, I had a decision to make on whether I wanted to do something good with my life or to just continue down the path of destruction. I decided to stay on the path of destruction. By the grace of God, I graduated high school, no idea how. But after that, I did nothing with my life. Everything that I did was either, driven by getting high or driven by money or lust. Nothing that I did amounted to a single thing. I just continuously was getting in more and more trouble, just getting by the thin of hair. But one day I found myself sitting in the back of a police cruiser again for God only knows how many times at this point. I was getting arrested on 4 felony charges, actually looking at doing time in jail this time around. But while I was sitting there, I never believed in God, never knew God, never read the Bible, nothing, never prayed. But I cried out to him and just asked him, if you're a real God, just help me. I'll do whatever it takes. And he answered my prayer right then and there in the backseat of that police cruiser. I got released on bail later that night, even though I never should have been. I got home that next day. It was pretty late at night, and my godmother, who was actually the live-in nanny for the associate director now of Adult and Teen Challenge New Hampshire when he was a little kid. Watched him grow up, go through this program. I've watched him get arrested in my front yard before, actually. She reached out to him and was like, I can't do it anymore with this kid. I don't know what to do. And he told her not to worry. And he came and picked me up, and he brought me into the doors of Adult and Teen Challenge New Hampshire. God started working in my life right then and there. As Tim mentioned, it's a 10 to 12 month long program. It took me 22 months to graduate, so just need a little bit extra of God's love, But I'm so beyond grateful for all of that. God has broken down all of the walls in my life. He has showed me what it truly means to serve Him and to serve others around me. Not pridefully, not boastfully, but out of love. Without God, I'm very prideful and arrogant. That's just how I was raised. But God's taken all those things from me. He's taken away my insecurities and my lack of confidence and doubt that I have in myself, and has taught me to just stand firm on who He's created me to be, and to just believe in that, and to just trust in Him blindly. God has worked miracles in my life while I was a resident in Adult and Teen Challenge. As I mentioned, I was a felon at 16, but while I was a resident, by the grace of God, I had my record expunged, so I'm no longer a felon today, which is just the move of God in itself. And about 6 months into the program, God audibly told me that I was to stay here at Adult and Teen Challenge and serve Him. And at first, I thought he was joking, but then I kept getting dragged further and further into it. Eventually, when I finally did graduate, I was serving in New Hampshire, but one day in June of last year, I received a call from our director, and he is now the director up here in Maine, and he asked me if I would take it to prayer to see about God using me up here. And at first, he told me it was only for a couple days. A couple days turned into a couple weeks. It's been 8 months now. I'm still wondering when I'm going back home. But I just know that God's using me in this place. I'm forever grateful for Him breaking me out of my comfort zone and bringing me up here and being able to be here for these guys. And so the verse that I stand on is 1 Timothy 4:12. Do not be discouraged by your young age. Instead, be an example to fellow believers in your speech, your conduct, your faith, your love, and your purity. Now I'm going to share some scary facts with you guys. Last year alone, there was over 110,000 overdose deaths in the United States. New England was ranked 3rd amongst all of the regions for the highest overdose rate per capita. Yet the government allotted $65 million to help fight the drug epidemic here in Maine. Yet here at Adult and Teen Challenge, we don't see a single penny of that because we refuse to take out the one thing that actually works, and that is Jesus Christ. Here at Adult and Teen Challenge, we don't receive, I just said that. Rewind. State-funded programs, 30, 60, 90 day secular programs have a success rate of about 8 to 10% of people staying sober after graduating the program. Here at Adult and Teen Challenge, we not only have a 78% success rate of men and women staying sober 5 years after graduating our program, we have a 100% success rate of introducing every person that walks through our front door to the love of Jesus Christ. And that's what's happening. Adult and Teen Challenge is a parachurch, so we're not a church ourselves. We come alongside the church to assist in a way that many churches and communities may not be equipped to be able to do. And I get asked all of the time, Nathan, how can I help? Well, there's a couple different ways. First and foremost, prayer. Please be keeping us on your guys' prayer list. Be praying for our beds to continuously be filled. We currently only have 11 residents right now, but we have a 26-bed facility, and I know people need it. It's just a matter of them finding out about it. And so just continue to just be praying for that, for the people's eyes to be open to what God has for them. The next best way that you can help us is we have the table set up out back in the fellowship hall if you guys want to check it out after. It's full of the cutting boards that the guys are making. It's like when you go to cut up your vegetables, it'll be a reminder to continue to pray for our ministry. And, they're lovely. There's no holidays, I guess, but Christmas is only 10 months away. So 9 months now. So please check them out. They're lovely, they're gorgeous. But the best way that you can help us today is through a $1 a day sponsorship. It's $1 a day, $30 a month. Raise your hand if you drink a coffee every morning. I don't believe it, there's definitely more of you. It's cheaper than a cup of coffee every day. So if that is something that you are interested in, if God has spoke to you this morning and you want to take hands with our ministry, please come see me afterwards out back. I'd love to help you get signed up, answer any questions you may have, whether that's one sponsor for 30, 2 for 60, 3 for 90, whatever you may be feeling this morning. with a church of this size, we are looking to get 5 sponsorships to stay on track for our financial goal of the year. So please, just take it to prayer, and we thank you guys for having us today. Thank you, Pastor Joe, for the opportunity to just come out. I know we had to cancel that one weekend, so I'm glad we were able to get back out here. So thank you guys.
Thank you.